Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I hope everybody is having a pleasant day wherever you might be in the world. I'm having a very quiet day doing some reading on the internet, trying to learn a couple of little things, playing around with GoPro Studio, watching some videos, making some notes, got my son, and just having a semi-productive day. A relaxing, productive day. But anyway, I'm reading some stuff this morning, and it just really made me believe there's so many people that are rationalizing on this lifestyle. They got their heads buried in the ground. As humans, I think it's comforting to us emotionally to blame outside circumstances for things that are going on in our life. There's always a reason. There's always a mitigating circumstance. And as humans, it's hard for us to be self-critical and look to ourselves and say, well, it's something I'm doing or I'm not doing right or whatever. And a lot of stuff is people are just listening to, I think, a lot of things they want to listen to. I hear stuff every day, and I'm not the guy, if any of you are connected with me on social media, you might notice, you probably don't ever see me in arguments. You definitely don't see me in arguments, but you don't see me in many discussions because I'm just not about banging myself against the wall. And I can tell when people have some preconceptions in their head, and I just choose different ways I'm just always trying to share more information, more positive stuff, whatever. I'm just not going to spend a lot of time going back and debating with people that have ideas that are not working. That's the thing. Maybe we would debate a little bit if they were working, but you're trying, okay, here's basically what it is. I see people that struggle that vehemently argue with people that are thriving. Now, what sense does that make? I would say go back, like I did that video, I can't remember now, I lose track of when I did a particular video, but it's been within the last week, 10 days or so. Imitate what works. That's where I've always started. I'm a very simple person in my process. Yes, we're different. We have to make adjustments. But if I see somebody that's doing well with something, whatever it is, I'm going to tend to kind of pay attention to what they're doing, and I'm going to try to copy as much of it as possible. Now, there's probably going to be some things when it comes to food that aren't going to work for me because I do have a unique body. You have a unique body. This person has a unique body. But, as I said in that video, we're humans. So there's a large set of things that are going to work for a large set of people. Now, there's going to be individuality, but you see what I'm saying. I see... And what I've talked about a lot, and why the title of this video, you don't have to struggle. If you could just believe that, if you could just believe me for 1 second, just forget what you've always thought, and trust me, you do not have to struggle to thrive and succeed on this lifestyle. But I'll use that word that I use over and over and over and over and over in a ton of my videos. It's about your process. It's about making a plan, and it's about knowing your process, and it's about following that process. It's about not getting impatient, and it's about working through the stages, letting your body get clean, letting your body get used to how much it needs to eat, letting your body get used to being cleaner and how it feels and coming into its new form in its time. Everybody wants it now. We don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to drop that weight. I don't want to wait to feel better. I don't want to wait for anything. So what you end up doing is you jump from this to this to this to this to this. And I talked about that in another video, not giving things a sufficient amount of time to work. You get on this, and maybe what you're doing right now would work, but you don't give it enough time, and you jump on to something else. And then in some ways, depending on what you're jumping from, too, you almost have to start over again, and then you kind of have to get used to that. And it's a never-ending thing. Listen, this lifestyle, you do not have to struggle. I'll repeat what I said. If somebody wanted to come down here to Costa Rica, I so want to do that. And I'm talking about in person there. I'm not talking about doing that through the internet. Love to have somebody here in the house with me that wants to transition to a raw vegan lifestyle, because I know if they, and somebody that's willing, be willing. Just be willing. Try it. What have you got to freaking lose for 2 or 3 months? Just try it. Or I'm not just saying even if you come down here, but even for yourself. Try doing it the proper way. Try doing it in a slow, reasonable transition. Or not even a slow transition, but a transition that is suited to you, that fits you, that you're comfortable with. I'm going to put down in the links below, because I want to get back. I want people to stop struggling on this lifestyle. It's an easy lifestyle. A little bit harder. The boys over at the Brothers. I don't know if you guys watch Sweet Natural Living. I was watching one of their videos yesterday, and he said something in the video that I liked. But it's not going to necessarily apply for everybody, because people are in different places where you don't necessarily have a choice of what quality fruits and vegetables you're getting. But he said, if it's hard, you're not eating good fruit, which is true, because like I just sat down and mowed down about 4 or 5 mangoes a couple of hours ago. These things were epic, and I was thinking of some mango I got just a couple of days ago. Now that super good mango, there's a difference. I can mow that down. It's harder. I mean, don't get me wrong, the mango 2 days ago wasn't bad, and I ate every bit of it, but it just wasn't the same. It wasn't going down quite as easy. So you need to find that good quality fruit. And yeah, I'm just going to say, some people will say, well, we got to do, and you have to do what you can do with your circumstances, but there's a lot of people out there that are they're fighting themselves, they're fighting reality, when they're the hardcore. Like, okay, I guess what I'm getting at is, if you're hardcore, raw as law, if you consider yourself a next level, emancipated, arisen fruitarian, all these ones that are all about eating fruit, the best of the fruit, all the time, being fruitarian, being super clean, being nothing but raw, well, I would say at some point, you are going to have to give some thought to your location. If you're not in a place and you have that mentality, make sure you people understand what I'm saying. I don't want anybody to say that I'm saying everybody has to move to another place. I'm saying if you want to say, okay, I got to be a hardcore fruitarian, I got to be a hardcore raw as law, I'm never going to eat cooked food, I would say at least you should start thinking about some way to make a move to that place, whether it's not the tropics, the subtropics. You don't have to jump out of the country. If you're in the States, South Florida, maybe you can order, maybe California, there's areas. But at some point, if you want to do that hardcore fruitarian thing, fully raw all the time, never wavering, you're going to probably have to think location. It's just a reality of it. And it's always your body. Let's see, how am I going to phrase this? Sometimes people don't think things are happening with their body, but you will still, you're going to continue for a long time. You're going to go through stages in this lifestyle. That's what I'm trying to say. And you're going to have to figure out each different stage. You're going to have, you're going to have small struggles. I'm not saying, nothing's ever going to be difficult again, but if you will work within where you are right now, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. I've said that about the food. I've said it about my yoga. Just don't worry about the results. Worry about where you need to be at this time, where you are in your transition. And you are going to get there. But you have, if you go too far, too soon, it's going to be hard, and you're not going to be able to hang on, and then you're going to fall, and then it's going to be a seesaw. You're going to be going back and forth, and you're going to constantly be talking about, oh, I fell off the wagon this weekend, I ate this, and this, I feel terrible about myself, blah, 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 come to Jesus, hello, hallelujah, I'm back on the program, and you're going to do this over and over. And instead of, if you had a little patience, and the train moved a little bit slower, you would still get there faster. But you've got to kind of change that thinking in your head. All right, let's see if I've covered everything on these are my notes. I always talk about my notes. They're so random and just ill-formed. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's about it. But you do not have to struggle. take that away. You know, there's particulars in there, but you do not have to struggle, and I will guarantee you that. I will guarantee you that. And I can help you with that transition. I will put the transition playlist in the description below. Anyhow, hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you have an awesome week. I love you guys. Peace.